We will start with the national anthem, and it will be directly followed by the prayer by Pastor Edmund Thompson. And so he will proceed after the playing of the national anthem. Please stand.
No evil shall overtake you, no plague shall come near your dwelling. For he will put his angels in charge of you to guard you in all your ways. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, the God of all creations, I come to you this day as a child seeking your mercy before your throne of grace. Father, I come to you this afternoon giving you all the honor and glory as we gather here together with these members of the DNA. Father, I'm asking you all your blessings to be upon every member, Father, and bless them accordingly. Grant every member this afternoon wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Father, I ask of you, due to the present situation, may you guide them in love, peace, and unity. Protect them from all harm and dangers, and cancel every evil plan set against them. Let your divine power cover Miss Joan Messiah, the leader of the DNA. Shower her with love, peace, unity, and compassion. With all the members and Antigua and Barbuda as a whole. Lord, I implore on all members here and via Zoom to fret not, neither be thou envious, but rather lift up your eyes to the hills, for your help come there. Even though you go through the valley of hatred of bitterness, even death, have no fear. Stay focused, because God Almighty are with you, and he will comfort you with his rod and his staff. My Lord, as we gather here in soberness of mind and of heart, for the sake of our nation and its future, I pray that you would shine the light of your countenance on all members and the people of Antigua and Barbuda and of the DNA. In Jesus' name, and everybody say, amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Please be seated. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Malika Parker, a proud founding member of the DNA, and it is my honor to chair today's event and therefore to welcome you as you celebrate with us. I acknowledge our venerable and esteemed political leader, Ms. Joan Messiah, members of the diplomatic corps and other dignitaries joining us in room and online, other members at the head table, colleagues and delegates to this historic Congress in room and online, friends and supporters, good afternoon and welcome. Permit me also, of course, then to acknowledge our brothers and sisters and comrades all. All are welcomed to this takeover that the DNA is embarked on. So today is a good day. Today is a great day. Today is an awesome day. It is a historic day. Today, our take back gains momentum, real momentum. Yes. Today, we move to take over from the individual to the institution, and that is major. We welcome you to this seminal moment in the political history of Antigua and Barbuda. We are privileged and prideful to receive you all to our inaugural Congress. We invite you, therefore, to stay the course with us, always, as we will continue to refine the political landscape of Antigua and Barbuda. Colleagues and friends, many would like to write our story, but their pens will fail. Many will come as if to kill and destroy, but their swords will shatter like glass upon our determination. My friends and colleagues, they will come. They will come with their guns, big and small. Their bullets will ricochet like rubber, beat back by the brick wall of our unified vision and by our thirst to transform our nation. Nothing will stop us. Permit me, as we celebrate, permit me to remind us that as we commemorate this historic event and launch this formidable political institution, we do so as an avalanche of challenges confront our country. Yes, the ravages of COVID-19 is preeminent, but there are other issues, friends, all of which predated the pandemic. They are structural, systemic, and parasitic issues that hamper our progress as a nation. And they have only multiplied. We've seen it multiplied under the weight of a political culture which has not and will not serve us well. We are today confronted with issues of environmental degradation, and the threat presented by climate change is real. We are gripped by the need for planned progressive infrastructural development in our nation, including water and technological infrastructure. Today, in this country, we face economic instability, propped up by an engineered economic growth in a monocrop economy. There is a general lack of economic freedom in this most exclusive economy. This is the reality faced by our people today. Nearly 40 years after our independence, we are yet to be the owners of this economy. Today, we accept, while we bemoan, our weak governance systems, where corruption, double dealing, unchecked and unbridled conflicts of interest persists, and they persist, and they persist, and they persist across successive governments and regimes. The oligarchy that sits upon our nation appears indestructible. They appear to be infallible. This is what our political culture has delivered us. Our education system is exposed today with years of educational progress and advancement potentially erased by the long arm of COVID-19. And we stare into the face of a weak health system, paralyzed by endemic chronic disease of a people who today still do not feed themselves. My colleagues and friends, there is more. Our youth crave for engagement and real empowerment. They ask politely to be actors in their country. They ask for their country to deliberately and purposefully educate them for the future. They ask to be the innovators and the creators that they are. Quite frankly, friends and colleagues, as we meet today, poverty grips our land. Suffering is real. Social exclusion and displacement is visible. It is palpable. My colleagues and friends, brothers and sisters, comrades all, it is critical that we halt this dysfunction. We must move with deliberate urgency to create, to shape a pathway to prosperity. This is why we're here today. This is why you are here today. We have zero doubt that the DNA will catalyze and deliver real change in the political discourse of our country. We are fueled, we are forged by the aspirations of our people, the people of Antigua and Barbuda. They cry for sustainable, comprehensive, decent, accountable, and a progressive approach to our development. The time has come. This cry has rang out across our nation for decades. And today, the DNA is answering that call. And we're doing it with sharp focus. We will not be deterred. Today, the DNA resets the political playing field. We begin the path to prosperity. By institutionalizing this organization, you, those of you in room and our members joining us online, you have declared that you possess the courage to change. You possess the courage to break free from a two-party political system that has only perfectly divided us so that it could conquer us. It is through this courage, the courage of our people, that we will change the ideas around our politics, and we will change the philosophies which paint you with a color, with a label, as if someone decreed since your birth that you should carry that color from your birth to your grave. How dare them? How dare them? It ends today. Our politicians should work for our votes. They should earn our votes. Cannot be gifted to them. It will not be willed to them. It will not be ceded to them. It is you, the people, who have declared, and we have heard it, that you cannot and that you will not continue a system which breeds corruption, nepotism, cronyism. And so it is you who must embody the courage to change it. We call, therefore, on leaders, men and women, youth of impact, of intent, of courage. Those of you given not only to yourselves, but who will answer the greater call of duty, of service. Join us. Join us. Join the DNA. We must disrupt. We must uproot. We must discard the malaise that has set into our political culture. It is time. We must today dispel and beat back that deep fog of circular rhetoric, vitriolic banter, the tribalism, the fraternizing, which belies who we truly are as a people. That is not us. That is not us. My people, we must therefore run briskly, quickly, to a state of political maturity and evolution. We must take back the political space. We decide in an instant that we have the courage to change, and then we change. It is that simple. Today we embrace those possibilities, the possibilities that come with a multi-party system, the possibilities that will give the power truly to the people. Today, we will celebrate, we will ratify our party's constitution, we will elect our officers, and then we will build. Build. And so let me end by stating a simple truth, and that is that democracy itself demands the courage to change. I say it again, democracy demands the courage to change. Our progress as a nation demands that we inspire others to change. It is through this change, my people, my friends, my colleagues, that we will realize the pathway to prosperity. This has long eluded us. Again, I welcome you here today, and thank you. We will move now. Thank you. As we celebrate this afternoon, the DNA would certainly like to acknowledge some persons who declared their courage to change early. These would have been some of our stalwart members whom we would have lost along the way. And today we wish to celebrate, acknowledge them, their lives, and their families. And so I ask you to stand as we rest in a moment of silence and reflect upon those of our members who are not here to witness the institutionalization of our organization. Thank you. We will honor them by taking this institution all the way. I now invite a steel pan rendition by Keith Athill and Keandre Athill, the father and son duo, who will celebrate with us in pan. Thank you. Don't yet. Thank you, father and son. Don't yet move because I only saw maybe two people jigging. Y'all didn't hear what was playing? Hey. So just give us that verse once again. And I want the audience to sing. It means something. It's plenty people would like to run us. I want the audience to sing. Chorus. Yes. I'm hearing you. Thank you, Athils. Thank you. Profound. Powerful. Yes. Somebody go on me. Nobody. And so we proceed. We will now invite acknowledgements and greetings from our friends, supporters, well-wishers around the region. I will now hand over to our General Secretary to continue this aspect of our agenda. GS? GS, and I understand Shanil Imhoff, who is our energetic and unstoppable force of a team leader in St. Peter. Please come. And so the GS is yielding to the youth. Good idea.
Good afternoon, colleagues. What man eat before I come? Good afternoon, colleagues. All right, that's better. So this is going to be very brief, but across the region, there has been a call, of course, for change. COVID-19 has exposed a lot of inequalities, not just in Antigua and Barbuda, but across the seas. So very quickly, we're going to have just a few congratulatory messages to the Democratic National Alliance from youth leaders across the region.
I used to buy this model. I just want to take the time. I used to buy first Congress. You see, leadership for me.
I invite you to look at the screen. They should be coming up soon.
I invite you to look at the screen. They should be coming up. So subsequently, soon. In their life, and by extension, the effect has been felt all the way in John and all the rest, right? But these are
Barbados. I am Renetta Hayes, University of the West Indies KFL campus, president of the KFL Association of Postgraduate Leadership means to me. It is transparency individuals into the work that others have opinions, target. So DNA, I just want to congratulate.
Politics is about people, and our people, our Caribbean democracy, and our political philosophy. In not only one, actions speak louder than words. Sadly, some have the unique ability and even fool some into believing that they are part of a movement for decades, not seeing improvement, the carrot on a stick that appears to be reality eludes them. But faith in party
Some things are just never said.
and emotional
Things are just never said.
on what may be possible, not what has been. Caribbean. We are one. What affects one separated by sea, but we are all united with a vision for progress, stability, respectability. Sister Joanne Messiah, whom I have known, has the ability to fake or to be a political mannequin. Maybe things might have worked better for her. It is so difficult to discern fact from fiction, and where lies reach halfway across the world before truth can put on its trousers. Sister Messiah is a genuine, realistic, and more love for people. This is not have to like her to appreciate the fact that she has leadership skills,
I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure
team
I'm
and
up all
deep
night,
faith
making sure everything. You're ordinary
believes that it
person,
is better to
that's
teach
why
a
you're
person to
the
fish
ordinary person doing what's right.
every day so that this person can be independent and not pull you up by your bootstrings, but enable you to do it yourself by giving you the necessary tools. Easier to give someone a fish. However, this stifles our God-given abilities and talents, which make one must love people to be in politics, not take advantage. The poor will always be with us, but we can't this dependency syndrome is the root of all evil, not the money. Messiah could have been elsewhere, do other things, get rich, but she has chosen the path of helping her people selfishly at the expense of being ridiculed. Is still a man's world. Sadly, the true worth of a good and talented woman and undervalued. I have faith in my Caribbean people that they will progress. A rough road with sometimes who are willing to accept and follow truth and keep the noises of lies out of the emotional space. Let us never feel that there is no other way, for there is seek and ye shall find. Burdened by disappointments, but let the courage of our ancestors with Messiah to be the change that we need. Be that change. God bless the DNA. God bless us all as one Caribbean.
Okay, we're going to allow our technicians to speak to each other because we have someone who is also controlling remotely. And perhaps we come back to those very important congratulatory messages. We do want to hear them from other powerful young people around the region who are paying attention. So we will come back to that. At this time, though, we will invite the address by our guest speaker this afternoon, who will join us online from the sister island of St. Kitts and Nevis. His name is Mr. Dwyer Astafan, a senior cabinet member, a former senior cabinet member, correction. And it gives me great honor, pleasure, deep professional and personal pleasure to invite him to you, introduce him to you this afternoon. Gerald Anthony Dwyer Astafan, born in Basseterre, St. Kitts, entered elective politics in 1992 for the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party. He holds a claim as having wrestled a parliamentary seat from a sitting prime minister in 1995. In these Caribbean regions, that is not easy. And so Mr. Astafan would hold this seat until 2010, when he retired from elective politics. Over a period of 13 years in the cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis, he held a total of 11 portfolios. Those included tourism, culture, environment, the commerce, consumer affairs, information, telecommunications, justice, labor, national security, and immigration. He is credited with laying the foundation, which advanced now St. Kitts and Nevis to the top cruise destination, receiving in excess of 1 million cruise passengers annually. Mr. Astafan, also as telecommunications minister, was a member of the negotiation team that completed the process of liberalizing the telecommunication sector in Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Dominica, and indeed St. Kitts and Nevis. He is a pan-Caribbeanist in every regard. A lawyer by profession, Mr. Astafan reopened his law practice after he retired from politics. He operates his practice today. He also runs a political consultancy service, and he offers this service to political parties around the region. A thinker, always, and unafraid to challenge the political constructs, he remains still a social activist and commentator whose presentations usually grab wide attention in St. Kitts and Nevis and further afield. And that, my friend, is putting it mildly, because I am very au fait with his presentations on the political and social stage. Mr. Astafan, though, is a sports enthusiast, a former cricketer, footballer, bodybuilder, and a boxer. He has coached cricket and football at club and national levels, and he has served as president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association between the periods 1988 to 1992. He was president of the Leeward Islands Cricket Association, and he was a member of the West Indies Cricket Board during the period 1990 to 1994. Mr. Astaphan was also president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Boxing Association, and he was a member of the disciplinary committee of the National Basketball and Netball Associations. He also managed a professional boxer, who ranked number 4 in the Commonwealth. Some of us may not know, and I'm glad that he has decided to share with us today that he is also a lover of music. Having played music, he also went on to manage a musical band in his country. Man with a common touch, he loves reading, relaxing, watching comedy and sports, and listening to a wide variety of musical genres from around the world. He has, though, a special love for real calypso, Latin music with horns, Haitian music, reggae, and R&B. Mr. Astaphan loves the beach. He is an avid and devoted walker, and he walks at least 2 miles a day, 5 days a week. He is presently writing his autobiography. I, for one, can't wait to read it. Welcome, Mr. Dwyer Astaphan, and he will join us remotely. I am told that, again, there's some technology hiccups, but they are working to resolve that. So I think we will wait a minute for Mr. Astaphan. He's definitely worth the wait, and we will have some music playing while we do so.
Tired of taking the blame, might as well play the game. Oh, sometimes it can be so unfair. I'm a longing to see you. I wanna know how you've been doing over yonder. I'm gonna catch this flight, and when I reach my destination, I hope you'll be smiling, longing to see me. I thought you'd drop me a line just to say hello, my dear, I'm doing fine. Doesn't matter anyway now, 'cause my love for you will never change. Tell me what you're doing right now, 'cause when push comes to shove, everybody gonna put the blame on me for loving you, for loving you. When push comes to shove, everybody gonna put the blame on me. Oh. See, I had your number in my diary, but as soon as I get home, that's been changed. I'm not playing any games. I wanna know if what we have still remains the same. Tell me right now, 'cause I wanna know if when push comes to shove, everybody gonna put the blame on me. I'm tired of taking the blame for loving you. When push comes to shove, everybody gonna put the blame on me. Said I'm loving you, I'm loving you. Right, left, right, just so just a come, left, right. Wait, ooh yeah. Ah, boy. And them say, here comes trouble, here comes the danger, sent by the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. I and I start recruit, soldiers for Selassie, I army. Here comes trouble, here comes the danger, welcome the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. You're not for axes, at the general.
Thank you. All right. Unfortunately, Mr. Astafan is having real connectivity issues on his end. So we will proceed. And when he is a little bit settled, we will invite him to give us his address. We will then go back to our former agenda item, which was acknowledgements from around the region. And we are indeed ready to receive greetings. I think she will introduce herself when she comes on to give her greetings.
Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from lovely Jamaica. I hope you are hearing me loud and clear. I am Una Mae Gordon, a gender and climate change activist. And I am not only honored to be here, but I feel obliged and really is here this afternoon suffering from this great sense of excitement. It is not only a significant day in the history of Antigua and Barbuda, but it is a significant day in the history of our Caribbean region. We are here this afternoon, a political party formed by a woman, I think after years of labor and love, and in this Congress of mammoth proportion, I would call it, to this official launch of what I will now term a movement. Let me congratulate you, the DNA, a fitting name. It is time that we take the divisiveness out of our DNA and put transformational leadership. So apart from leaving you all with my real public support and blessing, Joanne, for utmost success, I want to encourage the DNA to wrap yourself in the arms of cooperation and persistence. As you move forward, I want to tell you that it's the only way that you will have success. And so I leave you with my favorite quote from Charles Dickens. I use it all the time. It is the worst of times, but also the best of times. I see this as the best of times. The truth, my friends, is that with all the challenges with climate change, and the moderator articulated them very well, with all the challenges, there has never been a time when more opportunities present themselves to make a most significant contribution to the transformation of our political systems for the economies and the social benefit of our people. So let the words of soft power flow from the lips of the DNA. Let the words of soft power flow from the lips of the DNA members. Bold steps reap progress, and with progress will come the prosperity for all. Press on, my sister Joanne, as I know you will. Press on, my friends from the DNA, and Godspeed as you go through today. The tech challenges are real, but it is a real challenge of our time. Press on. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I'm here in Jamaica listening and celebrating with you. Thank you very much. And when the time allows, I should be there with you. Thank you all really, really very much. It is time. The time has come. Thanks.
Okay, we're moving right along with our acknowledgements. We have another greeting. That individual will join us online, and similarly, they will introduce themselves and deliver their greetings to the DNA this afternoon.
Send my utmost congratulations for the Democratic National Alliance. My name is Bernice Einstein. I'm a youth leader from Trinidad and Tobago. And I really wanted to talk about youth leadership because I see so much of the party is made up of young leaders, for example, Chanel, etc. And youth leadership is very, very important. And so I must again commend you on including young persons in this movement. You know, a lot of people have the concept that young persons are the future, but we are affected by issues today. And so we have to be part of that change today. So big up, definitely big up to the, you know, the party and the movement. And next thing that I would like to mention that I thought was so excellent, especially as a young leader, a young female leader coming up, is the fact of women in leadership. Women in leadership is extremely important. We represent half of the population, and so really is to be part of the highest level of decision making. So firstly, let me commend, lastly, as I close in my message today, let me commend the entire party. Congratulations on this historic moment, and I look forward to all the national waves that you'll be making in the future. Thank you again, and have a fantastic afternoon.
Are we ready for one more? They're just checking to see who's lined up. We have at least 9 to 12 greetings that we could potentially get from around the region. Technology fearing. You have one more? Very good. Let us go. Similarly, you will introduce yourself as you come online and deliver your greetings to the DNA. Thank you.
Everyone, this is Bobby from Jamaica, a student of the University of the West Indies, Mona, and a youth leader. I just want to take the time out to pick up, to congratulate DNA on their first Congress. You see, leadership for me is more than popularity. It's about getting others to partake in your vision, so subsequently you could impact or make a difference within their life, and by extension the community. So DNA, continue doing a great job. Yeah, the effect has been felt all the way in Jamaica, you know. So continue, and all the best, right? Bobby's out.
And we're rolling. Go right ahead.
It is all the way from Barbados. I am Renetta Hainsley, and I am from the University of the West Indies Cave campus, and I am the president of the Cave Association of Postgraduate Students. What does leadership mean to me? You know, it is having, you know, transparency and guiding individuals into the right path. You know, it is understanding and appreciating that others have opinions, you know, that can help you meet the required target. So, DNA, I just want to congratulate you on your first Congress.
Pathway to prosperity, courage to change. Greetings. My name is Delon Toulouse and I am from St. Kitts and Nevis. Currently, I am pursuing a bachelor's degree in international relations at the University of the West Indies, Mona Campus, Jamaica. I am also the president of the St. Kitts Nevis Student Association. I too want to bid congratulations to the Democratic National Alliance on their first convention. I want to encourage everyone to hold steadfast to the party's values and legacy. I know you guys are young in the political arena, but you can make the change. Continue to be people-centric and you will gain the results you are seeking. Once again, congratulations, and I do hope to hear good things from you in the not too long distance future. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will proceed until the next set of acknowledgements are ready. Madam Leader has stepped out. There's one more? Very good. Go right ahead.
A pleasant good afternoon to everyone. Could I get a signal that you are hearing me?
We're hearing you.
Okay,
Please
very
proceed.
good. Thank you. My name is Hazel Brandy Williams. I am the Minister of Health and Gender Affairs in the Nevis Island Administration. And so today, it is a signal honor for me to be a part of this very distinguished audience at this inaugural Congress of the DNA. Today signals the institutionalization of a political party, a very proud moment in the annals of this party's history. I therefore want to place on record my sincerest congratulations to the organization, to this team, to this movement for staying the course over this past 4 years. In particular, I want to salute the party leader, Miss Joanne Messiah, a woman who is very near and dear to my heart. And so today I come to you as the Minister of Health and Gender Affairs in the Nevis Island Administration. I come to you as well as one of Joanne's very proud mentees and one who has benefited tremendously from her guidance over the years. And so I must applaud the leadership of this organization for its foresight, that of giving Miss Messiah the nod of approval to lead this political party. From time immemorial, we know that women have fought for the rights of others, and we continue to do so no matter where we are in the world. As women, we bring much to the table. We bring our passion to master anything we set our minds to do. We bring our natural abilities to resolve conflicts, to transform lives, and certainly, once we are given that chance, we do so. We serve with distinction. I know Joanne not as a showwoman, but as a quiet champion who serves with humility. One who brings all these qualities and more to this very distinguished organization. I want to say that I particularly like the theme that has been selected for this Congress or inaugural convention: Pathway to Prosperity, Courage to Change. It is profound. Hello. It is sound, and it is far-reaching. It suggests to me that this party is leading a national movement to reimagine what it would take to prepare a country for economic progress. It also says to me that it is preparing youth or young people to be innovative and showing them how to work and thrive in a rapidly changing economy. But most importantly, this theme is suggesting that this political party is preparing for the holistic development of all. And I must applaud all the organizers for putting this thing this very important convention together today. In order for this movement to be successful, we need to apply an all-hands-on-deck approach. We need champions. Yes, we need champions. And I'm talking specifically to the men. We need the men who are willing to advocate on behalf of women for equality, for parity in this male-dominated field. This, my friends, would enable you as a team to better govern and to strike a balance. I want to say that I am indeed humbled to be given these brief remarks, congratulatory remarks on behalf of my dear friend, Joanne Messiah, a tower of strength, a woman of wisdom, a woman of great fortitude, a woman of great prowess. And I want to say to her this afternoon, Joanne, you have my fullest support. You know you can call on me at any time because I see you, I feel you, I know where you're coming from, and I know where you are headed. For me, you epitomizes the strength of a phenomenal woman and one who has the goodwill of your people at stake. In order for us to be good as any organization, an important part of the Caribbean legacy is the pathway that has been made for us, all of us, especially women, by some stalwarts who would have gone before. And I just want to say briefly and make mention of some of these stalwarts. We could think about Dame Mary Eugenia Charles of Dominica, Dame Constance Mitchum of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller of Jamaica, and the Honorable Mia Motley of Barbados. These women have paved the way for all our young and women parliamentarians of the Caribbean. And I want to say with some degree of certainty that when the history books are written, our own Joanne Messiah's name will be right up there front and center with those other Caribbean strong women. And so, Joanne, today I say press on, press on. You have done a good deed and you will continue to make Antiguans proud. You will continue to make women of the Caribbean proud. Congratulations, Joanne Messiah. Congratulations, the DNA Party. Continue to press on and strive for success. Thank you.
Do we have any more acknowledgements? Greetings. This is indeed good news. If Mr. Astafan is queued up, very good. So we will now have the address from Mr. Astafan from St. Kitts and Nevis. We welcome him. Please proceed.
Greetings. Madam Chair, I do apologize for coming in late. There's been some technical challenge, but I think we've overcome it. And with your permission, I would like to adopt the protocols that have been set and bring greetings to the Democratic National Alliance and through you to the people of Antigua Barbuda. And of course, I thank you for the honor of letting me speak with you on this special occasion. You assemble physically and virtually today to reinforce your mantra of prosperity for all and to declare your commitment to put Antigua and Barbuda on the pathway to that prosperity. You claim that the other political options that have been available to Antiguans and Barbudans over the years have failed and are still failing to open the door to prosperity for all. I agree, and I believe that your claim applies equally to all of our islands. So why have these other parties and their leaders failed? Many of you will be familiar with the book by the late Dr. Walter Rodney entitled How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And we can agree that there are disturbing similarities between the way that Europe deliberately underdeveloped not just Africa, but also the Caribbean, and the way that post-independence Caribbean politicians have also undeveloped our islands. You never voted for the Englishman. In fact, you weren't allowed to. He didn't want you to vote. It was by their own blood, sweat, and tears, fighting him, and even fighting for him in his wars with other imperialist powers, that your parents and grandparents and earlier ancestors won your right to vote and to choose your own leaders. And so while you should not have been surprised that the Englishman, and please don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Englishmen, but given that you should not be surprised that the Englishman would want to keep you in a state of continuing and not even subtle subjugation, you have good reason to be deeply hurt and shocked to discover that to a large extent, all that really happened was that your subjugation at the hands of the Englishman, who you had never voted for, was replaced by your subjugation at the hands of your very own, who you did and still vote for. The game never changed. Only the complexion of the subjugator changed. So in essence, your subjugation never ended. And the proof of that is easily found in the fact that none of the administrations elected by you over the decades has been willing or able to deliver an agenda providing for prosperity for all. Indeed, subjugators are not interested in prosperity for all. What they are interested in is prosperity for themselves, their families, their cronies. And the more they accommodate and facilitate you, the less they would get. So guess who ends up getting the short end of the deal? Not the subjugator. You do. Admittedly, our pre-independence homegrown leaders did much to lay a foundation for us in terms of health, housing, education, and political representation. But increasingly as time passed, and even more so after we hoisted our pretty independence flags, we began to see and feel the effects of many things. 1, incompetence. 2, lack of vision. 3, elected and nominated persons who have been and who are woefully unsuited intellectually, technically, attitudinally, ethically, and morally to govern. We've seen and felt the consequences of government decisions based on achieving political success now or at and for the next elections, rather than sensible, short, medium, and long-term planning, programs, and policies geared to serve the best interests of the people. We've seen and felt the effects of the lack of transparency and accountability, of the inclusiveness of the people and true bottom-up dynamics, regardless of political or other persuasion. We've seen and felt the effects of the lack of those things. We know of the winner-take-all mentality and culture. We've seen and we are suffering from the consequences of the transactional nature of elections, shamelessly oblivious to the struggle for the right to vote, won just 70 years ago, and to the importance and nobility of the vote as the cornerstone to living in a constitutional democracy built upon respect for the rule of law, for the separation of powers, and for each other. In this regard, we've witnessed people abandoning their dignity and self-respect and selling their votes, which is in itself a sad measure of the depths of deprivation and depravity to which our people have sunk under our post-independence political parties and leaders. We pay a dear price for the politicization of the public service, for the largely unchecked greed, corruption, mismanagement, victimization, and engineered political tribalism. We are disgraced by the mongrelization of the dignity and the elegance of high office, by the shortage of true servant leaders, and the abundance of puffed up frog-like pharaohs. We are diminished by the efforts to dumb down the body politic and by the culture of entitlement and dependency nurtured by politicians who would never survive in an environment of enlightenment. We have been manipulated into being undereducated, undertrained, underproductive underperformers. As a whole, not sufficiently agile in hard and soft skills to pivot and be creative as entrepreneurs and workers and as social beings. And we're seeing that acting out itself in spades at this COVID time. We've been manipulated to divert our attention from the main issues to the distractions. So the distractions become the main issue. And we fight down ourselves and we fight down each other on the distractions. That serves to secure the political parties with a critical mass of support, which for them is better than having an enlightened and focused body politic, because a fully enlightened and focused body politic pulls away the political support base of the pharaohs, and they don't want that. So they prefer half a cake than no cake at all. But of course, once they get their hands on the whole cake, you know what happens. These are the things that prevent us from getting on the pathway to prosperity. Contrast the approach of political leaders of Hong Kong, which is the size of Guadeloupe, Taiwan, which is half the size of Cuba, and Singapore, which is the size of St. Lucia. Contrast their approach with the approach of our leaders. Their leaders empower the people, and that empowerment puts people on the path to prosperity for all. Our leaders empower themselves, their friends, their families, and their cronies, an approach which prevents prosperity for all. A certain Caribbean political pharaoh, in a relaxed moment, told me one day how he felt about the masses. This was a politician with a big following. He asked me if I understood the term the masses. I told him, of course, the masses are the general body of the population, the so-called ordinary folks who have to do extraordinary things just to survive. Their incredible daily deprivation, frustration, despair, emotional stress, and anger. Those are the masses. His response floored me. This is an elected, popular politician. He said that such people will always be that way and will always live that way, and that there was little that he could or would do to elevate them, an elected official. His approach, he said, was to pick out some of them for favor and to keep fooling the rest however he could. He said that his approach worked for him, and it did, and would work for any politician who knew how to manipulate the masses, because he said the masses are not too bright. He told me that it was better for him not to do too much for them, because if he did too much for them, he would empower them, he would lose their dependency on him, and he would lose power. Then he said to me, when I describe them, the masses, privately, I take out the letter M from masses, and I add that letter M to the first word, the. So the becomes them, and masses becomes asses. So for him, he said to me privately, the masses are them asses. These are the kind of pharaohs that hold power in a lot of these countries. George Floyd, the American, died from choking by a racist cop's knee in his throat for over 9 minutes. Days ago, that cop was sentenced to 22.5 years in jail for that act. The failed, callous, self-serving, deceptive, treacherous, unworthy pharaohs of Caribbean politics do the same to the masses of the Caribbean. And the masses punish the pharaohs by sentencing the pharaohs to 5 more years in power, sometimes 10, 15, and 20. And you know, it doesn't take long for the pharaohs to assume that whatever is the government's is theirs. And it doesn't take long for the pharaohs to become materially, massively wealthy. And people still, the masses, still sing the praises of the pharaohs, sing the praises of the traitors. But don't misunderstand me. The masses are not being misled and manipulated and degraded because the masses are foolish. They're being misled and degraded because they're not well informed, and because, unrelieved of their orchestrated and intended daily desperation and poverty, they are kept dependent on the wolfish pharaohs. So you, the DNA, are saying, and rightly so, that this is wrong, that it is not the pathway to progress, and that change is required. But you say that it will take courage for people who are so steeped in the traditional two-party system and in the existing political culture. It will take courage for them to embrace an alternative. I won't deny that it might take some courage for the change to be effected, so that your people, especially your poor people, can get on the pathway to prosperity. But I believe that if you, as a party, robustly and through properly crafted messaging, are able to show the masses, and special attention and empowerment and vital decision-making opportunities in this process need to be given to the younger folks of Antigua and Barbuda. If you can convince the masses, and there's no reason why you can't, that for the first time they can have their dignity and their prosperity, then you'll be doing your country and people a great service. And the masses will challenge and engage you to deliver as they embrace you in partnership on the pathway to prosperity. Let them see in your eyes the sincerity. Let them understand in what you say and what you do, that you have the ability and the commitment and hearts and souls of democracy, tolerance, fairness, good governance, and transparency. And you will see, if you get that message across and sincerely, the question of courage reduces in importance. The people will take the message and give the momentum to the message, because they will understand at last that here is a chance for them to recover their dignity and their prosperity, and for their ancestors who struggled so hard without reward to see the reward coming in future generations. I believe that the masses will understand that if they continue with the present approach, they will remain poor, needy, dependent, deprived, and unhappy. And not only they, but their children and future generations. Their choices are simple. You have to help them understand it by informing them and enlightening them. Turn the light on. They have 52 ounces of brain, just like the pharaohs do. But the pharaohs want them to be in the darkness. So, for me, courage doesn't play much of a part. Just do the work and do it right. You have built-in advantages. It's not your party that has failed for the last 50 years to provide the people of Antigua with a reliable supply of water and electricity and a reliable road system and other basics. It's not your party. And any administration which cannot deliver on the basics cannot be worthy of being elected to the office to provide the very basics. It's simple. It is not your party which has failed to pay civil servants and pensioners on time for years. It's not your party. It's not your party which has failed to lay the foundation for a new economy or a new society, or has failed to provide fresh and transparent governance, or to end political tribalism, which you know and I know is engineered to keep the pharaohs in power. And I'm speaking regionally. It is not your party that is so widely perceived as being corrupt. And it's not your party that is afraid or unwilling to put a woman in its top position. Let it not be lost on the people of your country that countries that are led by women are among the best governed countries and most stable economies and societies on the planet today. The people of your country may be at or near the point where they really want a change. I therefore said to you that it is for you to get your message out and to let the people build their momentum as your partners in laying down this pathway to prosperity for them. May your event today go well. May your words and deeds always put God and people first. Each endeavoring, all achieving. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Astafan. Was he worth the wait? Was he worth the wait? I told you. I told you. And so The crowning moment of our ceremonial opening this morning will be an address from our political leader, Miss Joanne Maureen Messiah. And because we are resetting, this is a great reset today, it gives me pleasure to reintroduce Joanne to Antigua and Barbuda. And I reintroduce her this way, that Miss Joanne Maureen Messiah is the political leader of the Democratic National Alliance, the newest political party in Antigua and Barbuda, founded in 2016 and launched in April 2017. As a former parliamentarian, she continues to be a leading female personality in the politics of Antigua and Barbuda. Today, we take that one notch higher, that she is indeed the first female leader of any political party in this country. She is a practicing attorney at law and honors graduate of the City University of New York, and she holds a Doctor's of Jurisprudence degree from the University of Oregon Law School. She is a member of both the New York and Antigua bars. She holds executive education certificates from the JFK School of Government at Harvard University. Yes. She worked as a parliamentarian for 15 years, from 2003 to 2018. During the period 2004 to 2014, she served indeed as the minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Marine Resources, and Agro-Industry, and at the Ministry of Legal Affairs, respectively, in the government of Antigua and Barbuda. Her portfolio, therefore, included trade, industry, and commerce, as well as select areas of foreign affairs. Ms. Messiah is well respected for the leadership she provided while serving as chairman of the Council for Trade and Economic Development at the CARICOM level, and as head of delegation at several regional and international conferences. She served as one of Antigua and Barbuda's commissioners to the International Whaling Commission for several years. She also has many successes while serving as the Minister of National, Regional, and International Levels. She is credited for having developed and implemented successfully the National School Meals Program, which was, of course, one of the flagship initiatives in the UPP's administration during that first term in office. And we are proud. We are proud as a party, and I believe as a people, as we look upon that initiative, which still forms one of the major initiatives in the social fabric, the social safety net of this country. And that is impressive. Joanne, Miss Messiah, is a well-known advocate and champion of women's and children's issues. She has held several leadership positions in non-governmental organizations in Antigua and Barbuda and abroad. She is presently an executive director of the Caribbean Institute for Women in Leadership, CWIL. Her other interests include national resources management, development issues broadly, gourmet cuisine, golf, pan, jazz, and the blues. Ms. Messiah has 2 adult sons and regularly counsels young people still today. She is committed to the professional and educational development of young people and the empowerment of every citizen and resident in Antigua and Barbuda and the wider Caribbean. I read this bio and I introduce Miss Joanne Marine Messiah with honor, with pride, and with joy today.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, fire, dancing through the fire. Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. You're gonna hear me roar. Now I'm floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. I earned my stripes. I went from zero to my own hero. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, fire, dancing through the fire. Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. You're gonna hear me roar. You're gonna hear me roar. I got the eye of the tiger, dancing through the fire. Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. You're gonna hear me roar. You're gonna hear me roar.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairlady, my colleague, my friend. I often say my little sister, the little sister I never really had, for that robust introduction. ladies and gentlemen, supporters, well-wishers, sympathizers, colleagues, friends in the media, good afternoon. Allow me to adopt the protocol which has been established, but certainly just pause to say and acknowledge my colleagues at the head table. I'm certainly humbled and appreciative, thankful and honored to stand before you today as together we claim and celebrate another significant and historical achievement in the political development in Antigua and Barbuda. That event being the inaugural Congress of the Democratic National Alliance, DNA, to officially institutionalize our party. I can only say this for those who, I believe all of you can appreciate it. I feel as though I am giving birth today, because it has been 4 years, 4 months, and 10 days to this day. And as my friend and my mentor, colleague Dika would say, hallelujah! The journey to today's event has not been an easy road. It has been rough. It has been challenging. It has been emotionally and physically draining at times, disappointing even. But I can tell you, through it all, the setbacks have caused my colleagues and I in the DNA to become more resolute, determined, strident, more committed, sharper in our focus to agitate and advocate for the new kind of politics and the different style of leadership which we say the DNA brings to the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Permit me, though, to take a short jog down memory lane, because I believe it is critically important for the political history books in Antigua and Barbuda, which I believe some person listening and watching will write one day if we don't do it ourselves. History must be accurate. Politics must be true, even pure, because the responsibility to manage and govern the affairs of a nation and to affect, direct, and influence the lives and the livelihoods of a nation and its people who repose confidence in you to lead them ought never to be taken lightly, frivolously, carelessly, or callously. And what we do as leaders and politicians will affect both current and, for certain, future generations. In 2017, in April, when we launched our party at the Multipurpose Center, I want to assure you that we did it for you. For you. We didn't do it for ourselves, as our political detractors brazenly and repeatedly say and repeat their lies. The facts are uncontroverted. And I have to step back, because if we're to go forward fearlessly, focused, with courage, the facts must be laid bare for the people to examine. And I can tell you, there are some of my colleagues in the DNA who say, Madam Leader, Joanne, you stayed silent too long when all these lies were being littered across the political landscape of the country against you. Yes, Madam Chair Lady, you're one, right? But I can say to you honestly that I believe that at times it's necessary to be still, to be silent, so that you can know, you can be guided by that divine presence. And that is what I opted to do. It took me 4 years, 4 months, and 10 days. But as we move on from today, I want to lay the facts bare before you, even briefly. Not to detract and distract from what we're doing, but because it is necessary, and I'm not going to get another time like this. And so I tell you that following what the world knows to be the UPP's 2014 humiliating defeat at the polls, after careful consideration, consultation, and many prayers, I, yours truly, Joanne Marine Messiah, accepted the invitation. Let me say that again. The invitation extended to me by the then political leader and deputy political leader of the United Progressive Party to take up the mantle to lead a broken, spent, and defeated political party. Because they, in their words, they were done with the politics. In discussions with my colleagues and others, many of you are in this room, I see you. We knew that it was imperative to rebrand, refresh, and restructure the party in order to regain the confidence of the electorate. And therefore, I tell you that contrary to that lie, that diabolical lie that continues to be perpetrated, there was no power grab, none whatsoever. But then there was a change of heart by the then deputy political leader, and likely others. I am told by some who are still affiliated that there was this great fear and an unreadiness on their part for a woman to lead them. I'm sure there were other considerations, some of which I won't go into here. But we all know and I was taught that cowardice is a curse. And rather than consult with me about this change of heart, a plot to demonize, assassinate my character and those of many of my colleagues here was hatched, which saw something I had never experienced and my colleagues had never experienced. And that was the stoking of a culture of hatred being carefully cultivated across the membership of the United Progressive Party. But I also wish to say here that I know, I believe in the word. And when the word says that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, I have lived that. And this is why we are here today. No weapon formed against any of us in the Democratic National Alliance shall prosper, because we are spiritually and divinely guided. We have no ulterior motives. We're not interested in any get-rich scheme. We don't come to politics to be the pharaohs that Dwyer Astafan spoke about. I have to tell you, I'm winding down soon because this period is going to be put behind us today. I go further to tell you that frivolous charges and complaints were made against me and others, and without cause, and in flagrant violation of that party's constitution and regulations. I was tried and convicted in absentia. I wasn't present. And I wasn't absent because I didn't want to go. I have the correspondences that I sent to advise that the date which was set for my trial and my persecution, I had already purchased a ticket to travel overseas. But the pharaohs decided that they were going to decide my fate come hell or high water. And so it was that as the party's next convention was drawing nigh in 2017, I was summarily expelled. Let me say that again. Summarily expelled at the Cobbs Cross Primary School on February the 12th. It was a Sunday, 2016, without a murmur from those who were present and who have what we call in politics the herd immunity, the herd mentality. Those, my colleagues, are the uncontroverted facts. Truth must be told, so that when those pharaohs and the herd who follow them say, as they say all the time, oh, Joanne left the party. I tell you here, Joanne never left the party. Joanne was expelled. So when people meet me almost on a monthly basis and say, oh Lord, I have a giant back up. You can't come back in. I simply say to them, when you're expelled from school, can you go back to school? Expulsion is different from suspension. Right? I leave that there. Those are the uncontroverted facts. Pharaohs are men and women. So when I speak about the pharaohs, I don't want you to think it's just the men I'm talking about. Pharaohs are women too. I don't know if they're called pharaohesses. I don't know. But they are women too. And I'm happy some of them are online watching this. I see them. Thank you. Because there's room in the DNA for you. Let me move on and say that women and men of good courage, heart, purpose, patriotism will never be suppressed and oppressed. And having listened extensively and keenly to the voices and views of hundreds of men across Antigua and Barbuda and those in the diaspora concerning their thoughts and aspirations of politics and development in Antigua and Barbuda, we as founding members were persuaded that the time then was both right and ripe for the emergence of another political party, which we described then and today as new, fresh, and dynamic. I want to just lean and refer you to the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31, which is my favorite verse. And in the book of Isaiah, the prophet proclaims that they who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. I want to tell you, today, Sunday, June 27th, 2021 is proof positive that we, all of us in the DNA, we did not faint. We did not falter. We did not become weary or deterred. We are here in this place for a time such as this. I have to tell you that as we huddled and we discussed the name of our party, we had several options before us. What I can tell you is that the word's national, because we put a lot of thought in the things we do. We wanted it to be embracing. The word alliance, we wanted to be, and we want to be, in alliance with all the people of Antigua and Barbuda. The word democratic, because what we had endured was nothing that looked, smelt, felt, or behaved like democracy. And so we wanted to have a name that reflected us as an organization. And I have to tell you that we, as founding members, we are very appreciative to one of our members who said, we looked at all the configurations of our name and we came up with DNA because we said who we are and who we want to be and who we want the people of Antigua and Barbados to know we are and who they are must come out of our DNA. Because what passes for politics and governance in this country, we, the collective, we, the people, we are better than that. We are more deserving of what has been meted out to us by successive governments. I want to tell you, we moved ahead and we forged our party in 2017. And as we rolled out our slate of impressive, fresh, and dynamic candidates, the Prime Minister called a snap election before all of our candidates were launched. I want to say here again that I am very proud of those men and women who stepped forward. Because even back then, you demonstrated the courage of your convictions. And demonstrating the courage of your convictions is difficult for many people. And I can tell you, as founding members, we realized and recognized in real time that the task of persuading women and men who for the most part had lived their lives in private to offer themselves as candidates in an election is not and was not then an easy feat. There are many persons in our society, many of you are sitting right here in this room, who possess the qualities, the capabilities, the experience, patriotism, commitment to contribute to national development at the highest levels. But sadly, the practice of politics, which should be honorable, selfless, and issues driven, has become nasty, dirty, filled with character assassinations and personal attacks, so that those valiant citizens who, like many of us in the DNA, are best suited and qualified to run the affairs of our country often refuse to participate in electoral politics. I want to tell you here, and I want to echo what our friend, our advisor, our mentor, Mr. Dwight Astafan, has said. And I'm going to tell you in my words that we must stop giving a clear path to bandits, dictators, autocrats, vagabonds, pilferers, pedophiles, unqualified, dishonorable people to govern us. We are all familiar with that saying, that the upholder is worse than the thief. Let us stop upholding these unqualified, unfit people to run the affairs of our country. It is time to stop. You must demonstrate that courage to change if we are to journey together on the pathway to prosperity. And so courage is critical for change. I want to say to you as I wind down that in spite of a 3-week window to campaign in an election, a snap election, we fielded 13 candidates in the 2018 general elections. And with 3 weeks actively on the campaign, and with very little funding, we made a valiant effort. Big up yourself! I also want to pay homage and give thanks to those well-wishers, those members, those supporters who demonstrated even back then in 2018 their clamor for change and the courage to effect that change by voting for the DNA. We look forward to your support again. And we ask you for your vote in the next general elections, whenever they're called. We lost one or two of our former candidates after the last election, but we thank them for their contribution to our party, their constituency, and the nation. I am honored to be associated with my colleagues, all of you. It is my singular honor to be among women and men who are conscientious, patriotic, sincere, honest, decent, and industrious, who have heeded the call so eloquently expressed in our national anthem to quote, answer now, now to duty's call, to the service of thy country, sparing nothing, giving all, end of quote. That is from our national anthem. What a beautiful anthem it is. We are all humbled to be lifted up in prayer daily by so many of you whose overt and silent support have undergirded our confidences, have solidified our commitment, and have kept us focused. So, as I close, allow me to thank you, colleague members, those of you physically present and those who are online. Our supporters, well-wishers, sympathizers, friends, family, brothers and sisters, and the comrades who have signaled your desire for real and meaningful change and have given us your commitment to vote for the DNA in the next general elections. Because as you know, what you do behind that curtain is for you and the Lord. I am not going to call your name anytime. None of us will do that. But I am saying, on election day, whenever that day is called, we are depending on you to show the world, to defy that misperception that politics is only a two-party system. You deserve the best of a political party. You deserve to live in a country where your goals and aspirations are mirrored in the policies and the programs of that party. You deserve to live in a country where the management structure is directed by you through a bottoms up approach as opposed to the failed top down leadership approach. You deserve to live, to exist, to thrive, to grow, to retire in a country where your talents, your skills, the opportunities that are afforded to you are not based on nepotism, not based on any political stripe, but based solely on merit. This is the new Antigua and Barbuda, which the DNA not only envisions with you and for you, that we are committed to creating with you. And it is only through this way, through this pathway to prosperity, by your courage to change, that we will usher in a new era of politics and leadership in Antigua and Barbuda. And so I remain humbled and indebted to you for your ongoing support, for your prayers, your encouragement, your love, and your best wishes, because together we are going to shake up some things in this country. I want to say that I am a little tame in this speech here this afternoon, but the fire coming in the acceptance speech, it is coming. I know I have to be at a particular level for this first opening session, but the fire is coming. You understand? And I want to signal my intention to tell the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda that your time is up, and to let the people of Antigua and Barbuda go. Let us go, because we are ready for a new kind of politics and a different style of leadership. Thank you for your kind attention.
World, I want to leave you better. I want my life to matter. I am afraid I have no purpose here. I watch the news on TV, abandon myself daily. I am afraid to let you see. Lord, will me when it falls, when it falls. Pouring on me, the rain it falls, when it falls. Sowing the seeds of love and hope, love and hope. We don't have to stay stuck in the weeds. The courage to change our mind, the courage to change our mind, the courage to change today. The courage to change our mind, the courage to change our mind, the courage to change today.
Thank you, Madam Leader. Do you have the courage to change? Are we ready to disrupt the status quo? Are we ready to overthrow the pharaohs? Are we ready to take back the political space in Antigua and Barbuda? Yes, we are. Thank you so much. You said that the facts were uncontroverted. Thank you. And so we have come to the end of our ceremonial opening session of the inaugural Congress of the Democratic National Alliance. Our day has not ended though, and we will continue with the business session of our Congress for the members of the party. That is where, of course, we will accept, ratify, and bring into force our constitution, and we are itching to share that with Antigua and Barbuda, and you will have that in time. And we will also, later this afternoon, elect the officers of this great institution. And so I now invite colleague Dalso to bring you the vote of thanks. Yes. Okay. Okay, colleagues and friends. Colleague Dalso will do the thank you at the end of our business session. So that was indeed my error. So in closing us off today, I just want to therefore thank you, those of you in room and those that would have joined us online. Thank you for witnessing the takeover live. It is happening. And we are glad that you could be a part of this afternoon's proceedings. So we wish you, those of you in room, journey in mercies, and those online, we ask that you continue to gird your loins with the DNA and to be a part of our building process. And like I said, the takeover. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Get up, stand up.
We will have a 15 minutes break. We will have a 15 minutes break. Allow the supporters and those that would have joined this morning or this afternoon